Support for WDBX comes from your membership contributions and from Girls Rock Carbondale, a youth-centered music organization for girls, trans, and gender nonconforming people to collaborate and experiment in music. Girls Rock Carbondale hosts an annual summer camp for youth 8 to 18, an adult rock camp, Rock Roulette, that kicks off each January, and an after-school program for youth 12 to 18 that meets each Tuesday from 3:30 to 6 p.m. at 214 North Washington Street. More information at girlsrockcarbondale.com.
Tune in to WDBX every Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon for Whiskey Before Breakfast with me, Dakota, playing your favorite rockabilly, country, honky-tonk, and Americana music on Carbondale's Community Radio 91.1 FM.
Rock and roll is dead and pop is in.
Ride the new wave with Dr. Incognito on 80s 80s. Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. WDBX.
This is so rich.
It was a stone groove, my man.
Good morning. It is 10:02 on your Monday, October 15th. I'm your host, Amy Fox, with the City of Carbondale. You're listening to the show Talk of the Town, and this morning we're talking a little bit about the Glass Pumpkin Show at Southern Illinois University. I have Tim Sportes in studio this morning. Thanks so much for joining me, Tim.
Thanks for having me, Amy.
And this has been an annual tradition for 13 years now. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, that's correct. It's been going on for a while.
And how did you guys come up with this idea?
Our current head of the department, Ji-Young Lee, he founded the Glass Pumpkin Sale when he first got here. And he had been selling glass pumpkins, I think, at RIT before he moved here for this position.
And what specific department on campus kind of spearheads this sale?
It is right through the glass department, but it's actually through our student-run organization called Southern Glass Works.
Okay. And describe these pumpkins to me. There's hundreds of pumpkins for sale, and I'm sure it takes a lot of hard work to make this all possible.
Yeah, absolutely. There are certainly hundreds of pumpkins for sale, all of different colors, different transparencies of colors, different colored stems, different sizes as well. And they range from maybe about the size of a softball to maybe about the size of a basketball for some of them.
Oh, my goodness.
And the pumpkins have been long-standing tradition in the community now. So we have been at the pavilion every year, but we're changing the location to the campus.
And was there any main reason for doing that? I know it is homecoming weekend, so there will be a lot of foot traffic throughout campus come this Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. I don't believe we've done it on homecoming weekend before, and our goal was to get a little bit more people coming to the event, and we were hoping that with the crossover with homecoming that people would be more interested in that.
And I want to point out that all of these pumpkins are handcrafted. When do you start making these pumpkins? How long do they take to make?
That's one of my favorite questions is how long do they take to make? Because I like to say that it takes about 3 to 4 years to make a glass pumpkin because it takes such a long time to learn how to make it successfully and quickly enough to make it actually worth the time to do it. But generally it takes maybe about like anywhere from 7 to 15 minutes to make one pumpkin, but it also takes a team of people, which I don't think the general public realizes. So it might take 2 or 3 people to make a pumpkin because one person has to bring the stem, one person's sitting at a bench, one person is blowing into a pipe. So that's what I like to say.
And before this Glass Pumpkin Show, did you ever have any experience making pumpkins before, or is this kind of a first-time thing for you?
I personally did have experience making glass pumpkins before. I taught at a museum before coming here, and I would do public classes for making glass pumpkins around this time of year.
And in terms of these pumpkins, as we mentioned, no one pumpkin looks exactly alike. So these are rare items, and you probably have people that come back each and every year that add to their collection.
We do, yeah. And I usually I ran the register last year. I'll be doing that again this year, so you'll see my face if you're listening to this. But I've had conversations with people who have said that exact thing to me, and they say, "Oh, I've got a mantle full of glass pumpkins from every year since it started." And, wow! And people also come to get it for their Christmas gifts for their family members, and you can get 12 pumpkins, and none of them will look the same.
And I know you said there's a variety of styles. I'm assuming there's a variety of color combos, variety of prices as well. Do you have a starting price?
Generally, the pumpkins will not be less than about $40. I think maybe $45, $50 is the average. Some larger ones or some with certain types of colors will be a little bit more expensive, maybe in like the $80 range.
Okay, and what forms of payments do you guys accept?
We accept all forms of payments. Credit and debit are fine, checks are fine, and cash is fine.
Okay, so you'll take care of people anyway.
Absolutely, yes.
And what time does this all go on?
This is happening, it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. Last year, people lined up a little bit earlier than that because they wanted to make sure they got the best pumpkins. And it runs generally until about 1 o'clock, but we'll kind of extend it if there's more people there, or we'll shut down early if all the pumpkins have been sold.
And so the earlier you can get there, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's this Saturday, October 20th.
Great. And how many pumpkins will you have available this year?
We'll probably have close to 800 pumpkins.
800
yes.
pumpkins. Oh, my goodness. Do you guys start during the summer months starting to create these?
We start at the very beginning of the semester, the fall semester, and we make pumpkins every Saturday. We have a sort of like a production crew that runs every Saturday, and we alternate the people that are on that. And that's for the pumpkins that are sold by the Glass Club. And then the individual members are also allowed to make their own pumpkins on their personal time to sell so that we can get some money for ourselves.
And obviously you put a lot of hard work into creating and designing these pumpkins. What's it like when someone picks up one and buys one?
Oh, it's so satisfying. It's a really great feeling.
And how many pumpkins will you have this year in the sale?
I personally will have about 60 pumpkins.
60 pumpkins. Is that more than you had last year or about the same?
About the same, yeah.
And do you have a favorite pumpkin?
I personally have been making some black and white pumpkins, some white ones with black stems, and then the opposite. So cool. I think those are going to be really nice.
And is there other important information for people who are listening this morning? If they do come out on Saturday, October 20th at 9 a.m., location on campus, where can they park?
Mm-hmm. The location, the pumpkin sale is going to be outside of the Pulliam Industrial Wing. Mm-hmm. That is actually where our glass studio is located.
Oh, cool. Will you be doing tours at all of the glass studio? Or?
We won't be doing tours, but at 10:30 there will be a live glass blowing demonstration. Cool. So people can come, if you get there a little early, you can have your pumpkins already purchased and then go watch the glass demonstration by our visiting artist, David Levy. And parking is actually right across the street from that in the Morris Library.
Okay. And there will be a lot of people throughout campus with homecoming. There's the parade going on and the football game. So if you need something to do in between those activities, you can stop by, purchase a pumpkin or two, and go on your way. But what do you hope the reaction is from people who maybe this is their first year coming to the pumpkin sale?
Well, I love when it's people's first time either seeing glass or especially seeing glass blowing. I used to do a lot of demonstrations at the museum I worked at, and sort of for me seeing that like spark in people's eyes when they're like, oh wow, this is glass, and then seeing, oh, this is how it's made, and understanding what really goes into it. Mm-hmm. I think that's a nice aspect that we're going to be able to add to the sale this year that we haven't had before.
And as far as the glass blowing, when you take that around to different communities, what is the reaction from kids? Is there one thing that they're really surprised about when you're doing that live demonstration?
Kids are usually surprised about a couple things. One is how hot that it is, because it's about 2,000 degrees. Wow. And that always makes them go, whoa. And then another thing is a small amount of glass can be blown into a large shape. And so when I would do demos, I'd blow it very large and make it very thin, and then pop it and make this loud noise, and they would go, whoa! So, yeah, they like that sort of stuff. But we also have done, like, kids' drawings, and kids have done drawings, and we've, like, sculpted their drawings, and that's always a fun thing to do with kids as well.
In terms of the pumpkin design, what's the hardest part when you're creating a pumpkin? Is it the stem? Is it the base of the pumpkin?
I think picking the colors out is the hardest part.
Do you have a full color palette that you pick from, or?
We purchase our colors separately from some companies online. It's kind of like buying paint pigments, because all the glass that we melt is actually clear. That way everybody can add colors over the surface of the clear and melt it in.
Okay.
Stems are also probably the trickiest part in the actual making process, though.
And I'm sure you have pumpkins with some of the shorter stems, longer ones.
Yeah, exactly. Some are really curly, some are a little less curly. Some of them cascade down the side, some of them wrap around, so we've got all different styles.
Wow. And what size of pumpkin tends to be the most popular?
I think the most popular is maybe slightly larger than a softball.
And if people are listening this morning here to WDBX and would like to get more information about the Glass Pumpkin Sale, where can they go to learn more?
They can go to the SIU Glass Facebook page. We keep that pretty updated with information and pictures and stuff. If anybody has any personal questions, they're welcome to email me directly. My email is tspurch@aol.com. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Great. And if someone would like to have one of your glass demos at an event, do you guys do that as well?
We actually do. We have a mobile glass blowing studio that we have taken to some different craft shows around in the local area. Cool. Last year I was part of one that was in Cedarhurst at that craft show. And we get contacted pretty frequently about doing those mobile glass demos, and sometimes it'll be for a day, sometimes it's for a weekend, so those are really fun, and that's a good way to expose not only children but also maybe people that are thinking about going to school, not really knowing what they want to do, and they might see glass and say, oh wow, I want to go to school for that.
Great. And if someone's listening this morning and never been to the SIU Glass Pumpkin Sale, what should push them over the edge?
Oh my gosh, what should push them over the edge? I think we set up a really wonderful display. We have all these hay bales around, and the draw is you kind of go and pick a glass pumpkin in a really similar way to kind of going to an actual pumpkin field and picking one. And it's a lot of fun. It's a really wonderful event. I've never experienced a pumpkin sale quite like this before.
And the really cool thing is, unlike going to a pumpkin patch and getting your pumpkin and taking it home and having to throw it away a couple weeks later, this is something that you can keep and hold on to for years to come.
Yes, exactly.
And when you guys started this glass pumpkin sale, you probably never expected it would be still going strong 13 years later. It's a long time.
Yeah, it is a long time, and hopefully it keeps going more and more, and hopefully this new exposure will reach a new group of people. And next year, if we do it on campus again, or if we go back to the pavilion, either way, hopefully that gets more people coming to see us.
And if people are just now joining us for Talk of the Town, we're talking about the 13th Annual SIU Glass Pumpkin Sale going on this year on campus. Tim, one last time, where can people get these glass pumpkins?
Sure. The Glass Pumpkin Sale is going to be located just outside of the Pulliam Industrial Wing, which is actually right outside of our glass studio. And parking will be available at the Morris Library on campus.
And if by chance there's inclement weather, will you guys just move the sale inside?
Yeah, we will be directly inside that building, and we'll have some signs out and some people around to help.
Great. And the best piece of advice for pumpkin goers, come early.
Yes, absolutely. Come early. Get the best ones first.
Great. Anything else you'd like to add, Tim? Maybe I forgot to mention?
I think that is everything I can think of. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck with your pumpkin sale.
Thank you. Hope to see you there.
Yes. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break and get you some announcements, and we'll be right back.
Good morning, this is Alicia with the City of Carbondale here to bring you this week's calendar of events. On Friday, October 19, 2018, the City of Carbondale has teamed up with the Carbondale Chamber of Commerce and Carbondale Main Street to celebrate the completion of Phase 2 of the Downtown Streetscape Improvement Project. A ribbon cutting will be held beginning at 4:30 p.m. in front of City Hall. Following the event, the community is encouraged to have dinner downtown along the Strip. If you have any questions or would like more information, please call 618-559-1939. And on Sunday, October 21st, 2018, the Varsity Center is proud to announce the return of the Terriers live improv comedy troupe for a second season of Talent and Laughs. The troupe is based at Carbondale Community High School. The show is appropriate for all ages. For more information, please call 618-457-5353. For information on these events and others, please visit our websites at WDBX.org or CarbondaleTourism.org, or you can reach us by phone at 618-457-3228. Thank you and have a great week.
Good Monday morning. It is 10:18 on October 15th. I'm Amy Fox, your host of Talk of the Town, and I'm joined in studio by Mr. Ed Benyas with SIU. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Amy. Thanks for having me in today, and thanks for starting off the segment with that great music by Giuseppe Verdi.
It was beautiful. And tell me about this year's lineup.
Well, that's what you played was the Sanctus section from Verdi's Requiem Mass, which I consider one of the 10 greatest pieces of Western music ever written. So our season will conclude with that. We have a 5-concert season for the Southern Illinois Symphony. So we conclude on Thursday, April 25th with the Verdi Requiem. So we can talk about that in the context. But our 5-concert season begins a week from Sunday with a matinee on October 28th. And our season ranges from Bach to music of the present day. So we can go through every concert if you want.
Sure. So let's start with the first one on October 28th.
Okay, that's unusual for us. We're doing a matinee, a Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, and that's music of Bach Haydn and Mozart, so great classics there. We do, I'm bringing in 5 soloists, and we do a Brandenburg Concerto No. 2 by Bach, a symphony by Haydn, No. 82, a symphony by Mozart, No. 40, and a couple other works, but we have soloists from across the breadth of the state of Illinois actually performing on that concert. So that's a smaller orchestra with some great classics from Baroque and classical era, including my colleague Michael Barda as the violin soloist, and John Dee, colleague of mine at the University of Illinois, who's the oboe professor up there. So that'll be a really fun concert on Sunday afternoon, October 28th.
At Shryock Auditorium.
At Shryock. All 5 of our concerts are at Shryock. They're all on at 7:30 p.m. except for this opening one, which is a Sunday matinee. And we have we cater to a little older audience, and they sometimes have trouble getting out at night. Mm-hmm. So I'm really glad that we can open the season with a matinee.
Great. And then things continue on Tuesday, November 13th at 7:30, Veterans Day being the theme. That
might be one of our most unique concerts of the season. November 11th is the exact 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. So this comes just 2 days after. It's a Tuesday night, November 13th. And we're performing music from many of the belligerent countries of World War I on both sides. So we have United States, England, France, Canada, Russia on the Allied side, and on the Central Powers we have Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. That's a little bit of a stretch musically, but we have 15 different pieces with our full 60-piece orchestra, and we also have a little chorale that's going to sing. We're performing 4 national anthems, U.S., Canada, Britain, and then we conclude the program with a really rousing version of the French national anthem, La Marseillaise, which was orchestrated by Hector Berlioz, a great 19th century French composer. And then some of our wonderful singers, student singers at SIU will sing those 4 anthems, and a lot of great music in between.
And you take a couple months off and then reconvene in February.
Right, right before Valentine's Day. So that's February 12th, and we're bringing in a wonderful group they're out of St. Louis. It's a French jazz group called the Poor People of Paris. We've had them here twice before, but it's been a while, and they come with their own orchestration, so we'll have an orchestral backup for this great French jazz music that'll be a little bit different from any of the other performances, but it's a really fun concert, Tuesday night, February 12th, and we start that evening with a wine and cheese event, a fundraising event in the Shryock balcony at 6 p.m. Before the 7:30 concert. And we may be doing a couple other fun things that night, maybe put a few patrons on stage in a cafe setting and selling roses and chocolates in the lobby. So
you don't miss a punch, do you?
I'm working hard.
And April 2nd, mark your calendar. You have another performance.
Right. We actually have 2 in April. So the first one, April 2nd, Tuesday night, is our annual Stars of Altgeld concert, where we feature winners of our annual solo competition. We have some really talented students in the SIU School of Music. So they audition for this solo competition in December, and we have outside judges that pick a winner or winners for that solo competition. And then we'll conclude that concert with probably the most famous piece of music, Western music, written, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony.
And wrapping up, you have a variety of different packages people can buy for the 2018-2019 schedule.
Thanks for bringing that up. And if I can plug that, you can buy season tickets for all 5 concerts. The concerts individually are $20 each, or $8 for students of any age. So a season ticket costs $100. But for young people like you, Amy, we have a special deal. Under age 50, you can get the whole season for $80. Wow. Because we really want to encourage younger people to come out to the symphony. And we also have really beautiful program books for our concerts, and they're kind of expensive to produce, so we normally sell those books for $3 or $4 at each concert. They have, the rosters, the biographies, the pieces we're going to perform. But if you get a season ticket, then your program book is free for every concert. So it's another $20 value that you get.
Another incentive to...
Right, and the way to get season tickets is to go online to Saluki Ticket Office and go to School of Music or Southern Illinois Symphony Series, or you can call 453-2000, or to save money from ticketing costs, you can go personally to the Arena or McLeod Theater box offices and get those season tickets. And you can... Our tickets are always available the door before each concert, 1 hour before each concert at Shryock.
And this symphony experience is very unique to have in a community the size of Carbondale. A lot of times you think of going to an orchestra performance in a major metropolitan area.
You usually need 100,000, 200,000 people to support a symphony. But we have a great community here in Southern Illinois. We couldn't do it without the support of many of our patrons, whom I hope are listening today, that they donate their time and their resources to make sure that we have a great orchestra and can do this 5-concert season. And the last concert we didn't mention, which we started the show off with the Sanctus from Verdi's Requiem. I'm really excited. Thursday, April 25th, we have internationally renowned soprano soloist Christine Brewer singing the soprano solo in the Verdi Requiem. She's sung at every major opera house around the world. She lives just a couple hours away in Lebanon, Illinois, and so she's coming here with 3 other great singers. And then we have combined choruses and orchestras from Southeast Missouri University and our own Southern Illinois Symphony, and the choruses from both universities as well. So we'll have about 200 people on stage for this monumental Verdi Requiem. I think it'll probably be one of the best events of the decade in Southern Illinois.
And if someone's never been to an orchestra performance before, I mean, describe what it's like.
Well, you don't have to dress up. Come as you are. It's not formal. And almost every concert, I turn around and I talk to the audience, tell them a little something about the music they're about to hear. I probably won't do that for the Verdi Requiem because it's an hour and a half of music, and it's just fantastic. You just want to be mesmerized by it. But it is not a highfalutin formal experience unless you want it to be. You know, people can come with a sport coat and tie, or they can come in T-shirt and jeans. It doesn't matter. The important thing is to come and hear some of your Southern Illinois colleagues make some great music.
And Shryock Auditorium, a perfect venue for something like this. It's really small and intimate, and it creates for a wonderful atmosphere.
Well, it's a great, dedicated by President Taft in 1917, another anniversary that we just passed, and it is a beautiful Art Deco place. Actually, it's a little too large for us. It's 1,200 seats, and but hopefully for Verdi Requiem we can come close to filling that.
And the 2018-2019 season of the Southern Illinois Symphony Orchestra kicks off in just 1 week, Sunday, October 28th at 2 p.m. at Shryock Auditorium. Once again, Ed, tell us where people can get their tickets.
Tickets at the door before every concert, October 28th, November 13th, February 12th, April 2nd, April 25th, or a season ticket package at the Arena or McLeod box offices, or by calling 453-2000.
Great. Thanks so much, Ed. Always a pleasure to have you in studio.
Thanks, Amy. Good to be here.
Thank you. And we do have one other announcement. WDBX gives back to our community every day of the year. Be a friend of the community radio and help us reach our $10,000 goal. Call 618-457-3691 now, or you can give online at WDBX.org. You've been listening to Talk of the Town on WDBX FM Carbondale. We hope you had a great time listening in this morning, and we'll join you next Monday at 10 a.m. Have a great day.
Support for WDBX comes from Cristado's Cafe, Bakery, and Catering, serving breakfast and lunch all day. Cristado's offers fresh baked goods, including cookies, cakes, and pastries, as well as specialty coffee drinks. Catering available for any event. Cristado's Cafe, Bakery, and Catering, open Tuesday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and Saturday 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at 209 South Illinois Avenue in the Kaleidoscope Building. Information by phone at 529-4303 or on Facebook or Cristados.com.
Support for WDBX comes from the